My full name, Dr. Ravi Margasahayam. I'm a global space ambassador for NASA, and I worked 30 years at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Today I want to thank Indian community Franconia as well as Ramesh Ramanujam and his wife Asha to bring me here to Erlangen and have this opportunity to talk to many students. Like yesterday we gave a talk in Erlangen, and today this podcast. So basically, as I said, as you said, I decided to just give up at a time when I was forced out of my uncle's house in America. When I literally became a homeless. That was just 3 months after I landed in America. I got admission into IIT Chicago, and I was going to school, and then one day my uncle comes and says, please move out of my house and go to the dorm, and we cannot support you all the time. So that really was the turning point. I call it my failure turning point, or something related to similar to that. And then you are really totally in a foreign country with no support, winter months, cold, no job, doing odd kinds of jobs, no money. I just had a few $1,000s, but half the money was given to tuition, so I didn't have a place to stay. So my uncle and aunt helped me. So I'm not negative about that, but on the same token, it gave me something profound sense of abandonment, which I had to overcome, and that helped me to strengthen myself, and it gave me more conviction to continue my journey, because my dad had told me that don't come back without good success and story, So I would say, everybody goes through the turning point in life, but some people don't know how to manage that. But luckily, God was good. Plus, I had good mentorship from IIT Chicago professors, Dr. Kumar, which helped me to strengthen myself.
It was said that you met Tenzin Norgay.
Tenzin
Norgay, and then he suggested that you have to find your own mountain. Did you, when you were in the launch pad 39A, did you feel that you found the mountain after all the struggles and?
When I came to NASA, I knew something was big, because systems are huge, and you get overwhelmed by seeing this huge rocket, which you have never seen in your life, and all the launch pad and all the infrastructure. No, I don't think so, because I hadn't done much work, and my work was on the ground, and I hadn't touched any part of the universe until my first year, full year in NASA. 89 was my first year, and 90 was my first full year at NASA. So 89 was a half year. And that year really was profound, because I got to launch the first probe to the sun, Ulysses. We launched Magellan probe to Venus. Mm-hmm. We also launched Galileo to Jupiter and Cassini to Saturn, and then we launched the Hubble. So as a small boy growing up in Mumbai, just watching the skies, heavens, looking at moon and sun, I thought, that's the whole world for me. I never expected to even touch any part of the universe, and in my first year doing that, I think it was something totally profound. But as we go along, I'll talk a little bit about Mars and other things. But yes, it was a great feeling to be doing something profound, which not many people can do, especially a small boy coming from Mumbai, working on the first time to work on the launch pad. I was the only first Indian to work on the launch pads. And it was very satisfying. My journey at that time, I felt that there was a purpose.
Nice. The small, at least in one of the previous talks, we found out that you had told that the Sangam was a movie that inspired you to have the ambition or vision of flying or even rockets or something like that. So, what would you think the 10-year-old kid would see you here, and would he imagine what you have done today?
I guess not, because I always tell people that destiny is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choices you make along the way, and many choices I made were wrong. It led to failures, but failures are a stepping stone for success. You learn more from one failure than 1,000 successes, and most importantly, it makes you stronger. And it gives you the possibilities thinking, we call it in NASA, where you look at a problem and say, hey, there are many possibilities. All complex problems, according to NASA, we feel that there is a simple solution if you think about the possibilities.
Is there some story that you can actually explain us where an unconventional or a persistent problem was solved?
Definitely. I mean, many times we felt that, when we, one of the things I did personally on the launch pad was integrating the rocket. We call it the SEI, Systems Engineering and Integration. That was very important because we have 3 million parts on the Space Shuttle, and we have to integrate hundreds of thousands of systems, and these systems have to work together, and the only proof of test is the launch, really. Until then, we cannot test it as an integrated, full-scale system. So, at that time, we always think about what can go wrong, and it's not that we are afraid of it, but also we are worried about it. So, what we didn't know for 100 launches is that there is a tiny frequency coming from a bearing on the crawler, which is humongous already. And we are carrying 18 million pounds to the launch pad, 9 million kilos rolling to the launch pad. It takes 8 hours at 0.8 miles per hour, and some of the frequencies coming were 0.01 hertz, 1/100th of a hertz. You multiply that by 8 hours of loading, you are talking about millions of cycles, and we started getting fatigue on the structures of the rocket, which we never anticipated. And that took us a long time to really fathom how a tiny frequency can hit the shuttle going through the 18 million pounds of load.
that was also one of the questions I had, is to tell what is the acoustic part when you start a rocket, and then what is it that actually first of all happens acoustically, and then how is it sound as such is important for this part, and what can actually be found out, and is there something that you can identify or even destroy rockets?
Yeah, well, in the early part of the rocketry, going back like 1930s, 1920s and stuff like that, the rockets were small. It didn't create a big noise level. But as we wanted to go to Moon and Mars and some of the other places, including the space station, building the ISS, International Space Station, we had to have higher load rockets, So basically this weighed about like 5 million pounds or something, like 2.5 million kilos. So to put 5 million pounds up in space, you need like 2 million pounds more thrust of the rocket, and that becomes a big challenge. And the bigger the rocket, more thrust you need. More thrust means you have to provide more fuel, and we have both liquid rocket fuel, liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen. On the other side, we have solid rockets. So these create tremendous noise, what they call as ignition overpressure peak, which is basically when the rocket exhaust comes and hits the ambient atmosphere. It creates 190 decibels of sound, and sound is like every 6 dB, like a typical airplane produces 130 dB, but by the time it comes inside the cabin, it's much less. Also, rock concert is 130 dB, but we don't, it's not like 190 dB, because every 6 dB increment from 130 to 136, you're doubling the pressure. So that pressure really literally becomes such a humongous problem that we didn't anticipate that. But again, looking at the high frequencies, they're generated at the nozzle exit plane, and as the rocket takes off, they go along with it. And because they have high frequencies, they have very small wavelengths, and they dissipate very faster. Whereas the low frequencies, like 1 hertz, when I say low frequency, I'm talking about below 20 hertz. Below 20 hertz, the human cannot hear. Human can hear only 20 to 20 kilohertz. And these are long, short frequency, but long wavelengths. And all our structures on the launch pad are tall and slender. And so basically you have a lot of resonance. And this resonance kills us, on the launch pad.
How was, I'm still fathoming this, the launch pad 39A and 39B are the launch pad which launched humans to the moon.
Right.
And you worked in those launch
pads? Both were, my domain, yeah. I was in charge of the structures.
How was it on the ground, sir? How did you feel? I mean,
yeah, it's a very, very fascinating thing, because anything can go wrong on the launch pad, and launch pad itself is a humongous, I'll call it the pyramids of Giza, it's something similar to it. And when you go on the launch pad, it has like hundreds of thousands of concrete, of cubic feet of concrete lying there. A lot of catacombs, underground things, 4 levels. We have to worry about how to save the astronauts in case of fire. And all the structures, some are rotating structures, some are sliding structures, things like that. They all move on the railroads. My first job in America after my engineering as an aerospace engineer was in railroads, and I hated that. But later on, when I came to NASA, I could use that knowledge. So it's interesting that how you feel my boss used to tell you as a kid, you crawl, walk, run, and fly. So I worked in railroads, mining, helicopters, commercial airplanes, and NASA in 10 years.
Nice.
So it's kind of unique experience which not many people have it. So it is interesting that so many problems come. One time we had a woodpecker pecked like 300 holes in the orange tank. And this was after Kalpana Chawla's launch. And we were afraid that foam will fall off from the external tank. It's an aluminum tank with 5-inch foam on it. And we couldn't launch, so we had to delay the launch 1 month. So $1 million delay, per day delay, 30 days, $30 million. Then we had to bring the rocket back, but the woodpeckers were still there. So we had to find some way to get rid of them. And many people said, oh, shoot them. We can't shoot them because of environmental problem. We can't catch them, or who is the predator? Owls are predator for woodpeckers, so we can't train owl to go after them. So finally, the simplest solution we came was take balloons, birthday balloons, and fill them with heliums, big ones, put owl face on them, and put them on the launch pad everywhere, and they ran away. So that's what I tell people. I said every complex problem has a simple solution if you think about possibilities.
Very nice.
And we have alligators going around. We have fences, 15 feet fences, and these alligators push their tail on the ground and go on top of the barbed wire fence and go inside the launch pad. Big turtles,
and you can't even
big turtles making a house on the launch pad. Alligators sleeping on the tarmac, not tarmac, but the concrete, because it's nice and warm. And birds making holes, houses on some of the structures. So these are just common problems.
I don't really personally. There are many people like me, as I at least started, who would want to be interested and curious about space, and who actually chose engineering and then went on different places. I'm pretty confident a lot of people in US wants to join NASA. You, as you said, there was never a launching experience or rocketry experience when you joined. How did you crack the interview?
Well, that's again interesting that you become more and more not afraid. Fear is one thing we talk about, and risk taking as well as self-esteem. So these are the three core fundamentals of what I teach people, my mentees. So when even when I went to NASA, and the manager says, "Look, Dr. Ravi, have you seen a rocket, big one like this?" I said, "No, sir." "Have you launched a rocket?" I said, "No, sir." "But yeah, but I used to launch a small Diwali rocket made in China." And this would be like long tail, and if you make them fly, sometimes they don't fly. So then he said, "How am I going to give you a job?" And so then I had to come up with an innovative answer. So it's all about how you think and how you perceive the problem.
What was the innovative answer?
And the innovative answer was, I said, "Sir, okay, I'm here to solve your vibration problem, not your rocket problem. So do you have a car?" Well, obviously every American has a car. So I said, "Do you go over a bump and what happens? Vibration happens." "Have you sat in a train anytime?" "Yeah." "So you go in a train, clickety-clack, and you get vibration." Same with the plane. You got turbulence, you got vibration. So a common theme between these three modes of transportation is vibration, nothing to do with the engineering part, right? Mm-hmm. So vibration comes regardless of how you engineer. So same with rockets. The sound sound is generated as a load on a structure, and this becomes a big structural load which the structure has to maintain, and so it starts vibrating. So we have to mitigate the vibration, because a rocket is only good if you can go to space. If it fails on the ground, nothing matters. Yeah. So you can build the best Hubble Space Telescope, but if the rocket fails on the launch pad, for any one of those 1 million parts or hundreds of thousands of systems, the launch is gone, the mission is gone. So that's how we solve the problem.
It's also fact that at least the entry barriers, because as I said, we were talking about the journey of also doing engineering in RV college and going there and studying there and also struggling there, right? And also having multiple jobs and sustaining and retaining inside NASA. They are also consistently different things, right? It's not that you actually go to NASA and then you actually become permanent there, and you made a career out of there, and then you helped multiple personalities, train them. What is it that you would actually, if somebody is dreaming to go to NASA, what is it that you would?
I tell people that you need to find a purpose in life, what you want to do basically. So as I said, the Sangam movie really initiated my dream about flying. So always you have this trigger, we call it a calling, what do you want to do in life, and that's where I wanted to fly, because I wanted to marry a beautiful girl like Raj Kapoor and go around the world. It never happened. I married a beautiful girl, went around the world, but never became a pilot. But again, becoming a pilot is one aspect of it, like Leonardo da Vinci 500 years ago, he said, "Look, if I can fly, I'll make you fly, or build a helicopter to make you fly." Same thing, Werner von Braun was a German engineer who came to NASA in Operation Paperclip after the Second World War. He always said that if I build a rocket and I cannot go to space, I'll let others go to space. So that's how I thought, that if I don't become a pilot, let me work on engineering and maintaining and repairs and looking at the reliability of products. So really, I think Astronaut Maker, which we'll talk a little bit about later with Dr. Kalam, was a secondary quote-unquote work for me, which really helped me to be with astronauts, right? So a lot of times, like man proposes, God disposes, but sometimes God disposes for the better. So God didn't want me to become just a pilot and say, hey, go 50,000 feet above ground. He said, I'll send you 500 million miles away, launch people to space, and I'll send you hundreds of millions of miles away, or touch hundreds of millions of miles of space, So I became an astronaut maker for NASA, which I felt more important. And many times, I think, like Dr. Kalam will say that he always said 40% of the effort is moving the rocket to the pad after integration in the office, in the buildings. And then 30% is getting it ready on the launch pad with hundreds of systems. Then the 30% effort is done by the astronauts. So really, astronauts, even like my own mentor, Pamela Milroy, she always says that, look, your job is more important, because my job is just to put on a switch and go, but you have to do hundreds of things here on the ground. So that was amazing that I got fired 2 times, I got laid off 2 times. I have a scar to prove, I have an 18 scar on my heart. It's called the Hubble scar, I called it, because after Kalpana Chawla died in space, I focused on my energies to make sure the launches were safe. And they fired me 2 times, and luckily I got a better job every time within half an hour. So I think by knowing your worth and self-esteem, and taking some risks and doing other things, like I was not only an engineer, but I did public service, VIP tour guide, I was ambassador, I was a public speaker. So doing odd things, you elevate your name, and your name is always in the big picture. And so once people know you, then they want to retain you, so they know your caliber. So that's how I survived in NASA, that not just doing engineering, but self-esteem, taking some risks, and having no fear. Those are the 3 elements.
Self-esteem, risk-taking, no fear.
Yeah. So by taking, fear has 2 meanings: forget everything and run up the hill, or face everything and rise. And so I did the latter. And then risk, by taking risks you may lose, but if you don't take risks and sit on your back here, you'll never go anywhere.
That's absolutely true. Is everything okay there? This camera is also okay. This is the most important camera. Rolling? Okay. So, NASA gave you a Snoopy award for finding out the critical coolant issue in the rocket. What is it that we can learn with how critical ice is important, even to see the slightest things in a rocket?
Yeah, well, as I said, there are many systems which can go wrong, and one of the times when the space shuttle was coming back from space, the coolant pipe which takes which runs through the whole system in the crew compartment where the astronauts sit, it takes the warm air, and the warm air is distributed out into the atmosphere, which is very cold also. So that tube got frozen in space, because as we go around the world, every 90 minutes, 45 minutes you get the sun, you don't get the sun other time. So you're fluctuating between plus 140 degree Fahrenheit to minus 140 Fahrenheit. So at that time, they get clogged. And these clogged pipes were steel pipes, quarter-inch, very low flow rate. And as they get clogged, they started getting the crew compartment, like your cabin, started getting heated up. So it was like showing 105, 110 degrees as they were entering the atmosphere and coming back to Earth, which is a no-no basically. It's a tremendous bad problem. So we didn't know where the coolant froze. And then finally we knew where it was located, so we had to go and test it right on the space shuttle. And we had a major challenge because the flow rate was so tiny. We had to use ultrasonic flow rate. That was the only way to measure the data. And even the ultrasonic flow meter, the best meter, we got it from America in the world, that a flow meter could only measure so much flow rate. it couldn't go below a certain amount. So we had to go and work with the factory and modify some of the chips and things like that to put the system together to take that tiny flow rate and measure it. And once we knew where the flow rate was, we found that where the clog was, and from that point on we modified the coolant to help us out. So this was a critical system where it affected the astronauts' health but also safety. So we are big in safety, and that really helped me to get my Snoopy award.
This is also one of the questions. At least as I said in the research, it was told that okay, you also witnessed the Challenger disaster. What was a takeaway with respect to the safety risk and the human element in the rocket launching part of it, and how did you incorporate this inside the work?
Yeah, so Challenger happened in 1986 January. At that time I was working for Boeing in Philadelphia in the helicopter and commercial airplane division. So I couldn't witness it firsthand, but I witnessed it as it happened, and it was later than after the accident. I saw the pictures, and we got a lot of pictures, and we were watching the TV and trying to figure out what happened. As I said, there is always what we call as proximate cause and root cause of failures. So Challenger and Columbia later on in 2003, when Kalpana Chawla died, both were related to finding the root cause. In terms of Challenger, it was the O-ring, which was between the solid rocket booster. We had a double O-ring, and they were designed to be operating at a certain range of temperatures. That particular day in Florida, when it was launched, it was a very cold morning. The ice was forming all over the system, and what happens with a rubber band, when you stretch it many times, it started getting small cracks, and then once the cracks grow, then it eventually cracks. So same thing happened here. The O-ring was not supposed to operate at minus 30 degrees or something like that. It was like not minus 30 degrees really, but it was in the cold temperature, minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit and stuff like that, much below freezing. So it cracked open, and we got people from Morton Thiokol company, which made the rockets and this O-rings. They said, don't fly in this cold weather, because we don't have the experience level. So that's why we have rigid constraints to fly. Exactly, if you don't have all these parameters correct, we won't fly. Even one parameter is like with the crosswind, or if 50 knots, 30 knots, we don't fly because it can topple the rocket. So anyway, by knowing that later on that NASA made a mistake, so that was what we call as a proximate cause, which is always technical in nature. And in this case, we know that because it's a cold weather, it became very brittle and it broke, right? And anything brittle will break faster. So we find the root cause. The root cause was blamed on NASA managers who knew about the problem but didn't take care of it.
Go ahead to launch.
Yeah, so that's always the human error. So what they call as one lady from MIT, she did a study for both of the rockets, and she called it normalization of deviance, meaning you have mean levels, so operating levels.
You start accepting the...
Yeah, so the mean plus 3 sigma minus 3 sigma is our bound.
Yeah.
But now outlier is like 6 sigma plus or minus.
And the new 3 sigma and then plus 3.
Yeah, so we can't have something operating plus 6 sigma when our operating levels or margins are this. So basically that's where NASA managers made a mistake. So we call it Dr. Robert Johnson, he says that there's a proximate cause and a root cause. But if you don't find the root cause, you'll always have the same error again. People stop at proximate cause engineering. Oh, we fixed it. No, we jury-rigged it and fixed it. But now later on, it's a management error because maybe you're not taught properly how to operate the system, or not you're not bound by the ground rules.
And that is
Yeah.
that you think
So-
has happened because of certain amount of pressure or
Yeah,
targets?
schedule pressure, cost pressure, because each launch costs like $500 million per launch for the space shuttle, and with 7 astronauts inside. And it also 1 day delays $1 million. So we have tremendous schedule pressures. We have all the rockets coming in line. So if you don't launch this one won't go. So we have to rush, and that was a bad thing to do.
You helped the first Indian women to two times you helped the first Indian
Yes.
women to go to space. It is said that you're the one of the last persons who spoke to
Kalpana Chawla.
when she was about to launch. What can you tell about her that is not written in our textbooks?
I think a few things, like I went to America in 75, she came in 82. I didn't know her in India nor in America. Later on, 94, I met her through my own mentor, Pamela Melroy, who is also an astronaut. And although I've interacted with her many times, but many things I learned about Kalpana Chawla through other astronauts who are part of the team. And one thing kept her, in the lead is the risk-taking aspects, and also having no fear. I think she always pushed herself to the limit. She was not afraid to take risks, and she was not afraid to do any job. So those were the characteristics. And I think last but not least, I would say it's the passion. So whatever you do in life, you have to do with passion. If you don't have passion,
It is said that the women has to work 10 times more than that of a men. Did it impact her?
in NASA, you mean?
Generally.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Yeah, I mean, astronauts always put more effort, and depending upon their mission, the complexity of it, they have to work hard. We also, as a ground staff, we call them right stuff, and we call them ourselves right staff. So my quote is, you have to put the right stuff in space, you need the right staff on the ground. So we had 22,000 people at Kennedy Space Center, but like only a team of less than 1,000 people were allowed to go on the launch pad. I was one of them, as the only Indian who ever worked on the launch pad, and will ever work also. They will never let anybody in. So I think it's not, I don't want to say that, we are better than astronauts. No, we are not. But we know more things on the ground to make them safe and launch reliably and get them back safely. So that is the beauty about what we know, they don't want to know everything about the ground systems because their job is on the space. So I think in that way, Kalpana Chawla was brave, pushy, aggressive, dominating. She didn't worry about where she came from, like, okay, I'm Indian, I have to be here, subservient to others, whites or whatever. It's not like that. So we are a team people. So there's no I in the team,
Yeah.
So that's the beauty about NASA, that, we made sure we get the best minds put together.
I really have to ask also about one of the other ideal which I have is Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam. So how was the experience of meeting him? Because it was also, at least the research told that, he told that, okay, you are the man who will be launching people, will be...
I think it's like a revenge of the nerd, So my dad, when I had my SSLC certificate in Mumbai, I got 50% out of 100. So, and my daughter used to get 96, and her mom would beat her up, and she would get mad at her mom, saying, "Mom, Dad was getting 50%, I get 96. So mom says, where is the other 4%? So I think when something changed in me, I think that was the two things. As you go along, you get this dream or calling or a trigger, which was my Sangam movie. Next thing about meeting, Sangam was about 10 years old. And then 20 years old, at the time I met Tenzing Norgay, who gave me an impetus to be the best in the world in whatever I do. And also climb higher peaks. At that time, I didn't know higher peak than Mount Everest. Now I know on Mars we have Olympus Mons, 3 times taller than Mount Everest. So basically, I think it is important to know the limitations. But when 2 times, one time my mom would tell stories when we were kids. Oh, Pushpak Viman will come and gods will come on the ground and talk to you. And I said, Mom, there's no such thing. You're saying something wrong, But then I took her to Kalpana Chawla's launch and she said, yeah, that's your Pushpak Viman. Moms are never wrong. And then my dad, I was a VIP tour guide. I could take one member of my family with anybody when I used to get Margaret Thatcher, Prince Charles and all that. So one day I get Shah Rukh Khan for Swadesh movie, other day UN ambassador, then one day Dr. Abdul Kalam, many engineers, presidents all over. So we toured the whole Kennedy Space Center and then he comes back and we are standing. There's a picture of us. My dad is here, Dr. Kalam and me. So that's the last picture we have. Both are not there. I'm still here. So he goes and looks at my dad, and just before that we touched his feet because it was the end of the tour, and he looks at my dad and says, yeah, Dr. Ravi, you did a super job of touring me, and my team. Then he looks at my dad and says, but one thing I want to tell you, sir, I'm jealous and envious of your son. My dad had a heart attack. He said, what are we talking about here? You are the greatest man and you're talking about a tiny guy who was a nobody. Then Dr. Kalam says, look, God gave me everything. He made me president of India. I'm the missile man of India. I'm a rocket man of India. Everybody reveres me in India and the world maybe, and so, but one thing God didn't give me is to launch a human to space, especially a woman to space. And first Indian woman he wanted to launch. And I got that credit because I launched Kalpana Chawla. So he says, you are the real astronaut maker. Not only her, but about 700 people total out of 100 space shuttle launches. Not a single mistake in my time. Well, yes, we didn't bring Kalpana Chawla back. That was landing. I can argue that, hey, it's not my job. It's somebody else's job to land her. My job is to launch. But we as a team, we take the glory and the blame together.
As you said already in the podcast, the mentor, please, it's comment that you are the greatest citizen of US and of the world. How do you carry this praise, this virtue with you?
I think that's the beauty about working with the astronauts. I was lucky to get best mentors in America. I think that changed my philosophy of life. I was a shy, introvert kid, failure. I would never talk to anybody, not like in this public speeches or anything like that. But something changed when I came to America, and slowly I integrated in America and did many things like public speaking, tour guide, and lectures around the world. So in the end, when Pam met me in '93, she took me under her wing, and before that also I had very good mentors, but she was like the ultimate because she was an astronaut. She fought in wars. She knows how to fly 500 different aircraft. So you look up to her, and taking me who was a nobody, she wanted me to come up in life, So she molded me slowly, not everyday mentoring, just telling me what to do. And I think that reinforced my conviction that, I want to be like her. And slowly I pushed myself, and I think she always knew that I was special, but I didn't know myself. I didn't have that self-esteem. She had to give me that, and I carried that. And in the end, now we are almost like family, friends, and when she wrote that on LinkedIn, I'm like, why are you doing that, Pam? I'm not the greatest citizen of America in the world. I mean, she says, yes, you are, you know. I said, no, you are. But one thing profound I want to tell you, that this is a beautiful relationship between a teacher and a student. So right after that, 1 week or 2 weeks later, we had Guru Purnima, and I sent an email, a text to Pam on LinkedIn, and said, oh, looks like you're coming to Mumbai. I'm also coming to Mumbai. I was invited by Mahindra and Mahindra Group, so I went to give lectures. So I was going to see her in Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai. So I said, in front of all the people, you know, ambassador and everybody, I'm going to touch your feet because it's Guru Purnima. So she didn't say anything for a few minutes, and then I was not expecting anything back. 5 minutes later, she comes back to me and says, you know, but you're also my guru, you know. I said, what guru? I didn't teach you anything. Oh, you taught me a lot of stuff. And, you know, so she says, I'll touch your feet too. So this is the beauty about the relationship between teacher and a student. You know, you cannot compare me as an astronaut maker to astronauts. It's impossible to compare. There are two different levels. But I think in her mind that you know, I could do, I could accomplish many things and better myself, and in that way we help NASA and, you know, my career also. So she was thinking more than just doing my role at Kennedy Space Center. She wanted me to be a global person, global citizen, and stuff like that. Now, how do we continue that? So I guess now I mentor a lot of kids around the world. I go around the world talking about this, writing my books, and also sharing my knowledge with many kids, podcasts like this. Yesterday we gave a lecture in Erlangen, things like that. You know, I do a lot of voluntary work.
What is that one thing that you would want to give? Because I'm pretty confident that you have trying to mentor around 50 plus countries. What is it that one thing you would want to advise for people who's running after this big dream?
I would say self-esteem, you know, because many times, like very good example, one time I was asked in these kind of forums, a big forum, I said, you know, oh look, Elon Musk can do this, that, you know, and he's landing a rocket on the, taking it up and landing on the earth. And I said, we used to do that in Apollo days, but then they said, okay, no, you're landing on the water. But then how about the space shuttle? I would take the rocket up and it lands like a glider, you know, from space at Kennedy Space Center, right next to my launch pad. So I'm doing that too with people, you know, and 100 times. So they're like, they always want to corner you, you know, smart Alex, and outsmart me, especially when I look like, yeah. So basically, you know, one person said, oh, he's a billionaire, you know, he's worth 700 billion. And that's when I use my opportunity, because that it was the opportunity given to me, you know, to talk about self-esteem. And I told him that, you know, I have highest amount of self-esteem, and that's what I'm teaching the kids, to be the best in the world. I tell them, I want you to be an eagle, not a peacock on the ground, or, you know, a peahen, or a pigeon, or a parrot. You know, I want you to fly and, you know, be an eagle, because eagle is a symbol of America, but as well as it's a supreme bird in our bird community or animal community kingdom. So I said, I want you to be a golden eagle. And so self-esteem, where does it come from? I said, look, when you know, you have clothes on your body, you're not going to take it with you when you pass away. Neither do Elon Musk. He may have billions, money in the bank, cars, everything. He cannot take it. So what does he take it with you is the experience and the legacy he leaves behind. So in my case, my experiences in my first year, I did all this. Not that I'm boasting, but I'm telling the people that, look, anything is possible for kids. Like, you know, I was not a good student. I came to America and studied well and made myself somebody. So my first year, you know, we talked about launching to Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Hubble. You know, no human being can buy that with my experience with that money, because one cannot do all that, you know. like building the space station. We built the International Space Station, and I talk about kids and say, Taj Mahal was built for one girl, and I'm building floating Taj Mahal in space for all the women of the world, plus mothers of the earth as a mother. So I said that experience you cannot buy with money. No amount of money can buy. And that self-esteem drives you to excellence, Like my wife says, if I cut Ravi here, no blood comes out, only NASA comes out. So that's your passion. But to use the passion to become successful and have self-esteem to say, stand in front of people and say, hey, I'm wearing this logo and I'm the best in the world. Without telling them, like what is the definition of a diplomat? To step on one's toe without hurting his feet. How is that possible? So same way, we are standing in front and when I put a logo and stand in front of people, they say, yes sir, you are the best in the world. But I don't want them to treat me like that. I just tell them I'm an ordinary person in an extraordinary space, and it so happens that today I'm with you.
You have in one of the interviews, Astronaut Maker said that she was very surprised to see the Starlinks or fleet of Starlinks satellites that is going on. You have seen the era from shuttle to the international space stations, and the commercial part of launch that is happening right now, where they are evolving to put data centers into the sky to cover the whole horizon of Earth in the sun radius. What do you see the whole spectrum that is happening? Do you see it? It's great, it's dangerous, it's risky, it's
all in one. As I said earlier, by taking risks you may lose, but if you don't take risks you are always a loser. Now who does what doesn't matter really. In fact, right now as one planet, we are a pale blue dot in the whole universe, right? So we are all working together. Yes, we are Russia, we are America, we are India, Germany, everybody is putting the effort, but in the end it's all one planet basically, the blue planet we call it. And so I let them do their own work, let them come up with that. In the end, if all people of the earth benefit, that's all matters really. And who does what doesn't matter. I want people to, like when I teach my mentees, I tell them, I want you to be better than me. I'm a golden eagle. I want you to be better than me, diamond eagle, So, I think people look at competition as a bad thing. It's healthy actually, because innovation is not in your purview or my purview. And space is for all. Space is not mine, Space is not America's. Space doesn't belong to India. It belongs to all of us. In fact, our astronauts going around the world in the ISS right now, as they're going from let's say Erlangen all the way around the world, they go through Kazakhstan. By the time they say Kazakhstan, they will be coming over Erlangen again. So, we see 16 sunsets and sunrises in space, whereas on Earth we see only one. So, what it says about humanity is that when the astronauts look down on Earth, they see no boundaries. By the time you say Kazakhstan, you'll be in a different continent already. So, there is no boundaries on Earth between countries. So, why should we have boundaries in our own mind, because you're Indian, you're American, you're that, you're this, all kinds of nonsensical things. Even within India, we have a lot of divisions, right? North Indian, South Indian, and stuff like that. So I think we stop that thinking and say we work together as a one entity, then we can do super things which benefits the entire world, So. And that's the beauty about international cooperation, because 16 countries plus another 30 countries work together to make this International Space Station, which is $250 billion item, which has made it possible. So now, why did we do that? To check the Mother Earth. We call it off the Earth, for the benefit of Earth. So we are 300 miles above the ground, monitoring every single activity, tsunami, earthquake, all kinds of things, into understanding how we can support early warning systems. Like, when you go to a beach and your daughter is swimming, suddenly she starts drifting away. Who is watching her? The lifeguard, and maybe you don't know swimming, so lifeguard will come. So we are the lifeguard of the whole universe, our whole Earth, basically in this case.
Amazing. From the streets of Mumbai to launching humans, what do you want the next generation to take up as a legacy from what you think?
I think in NASA we call it riding on the shoulders of the giants. So, as you know, we went to moon in 1969. I was not there, but we had a big parade for all these astronauts, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong in Mumbai. Actually, they went around Mumbai, and I didn't go and see them, but you read in the papers, right? So basically, we couldn't even see the moon landing. We didn't have a TV, so I think what I want the Earthlings to do is to come together and worry about global warming and all other problems we are facing, deforestation, building unnecessary things, wasting energy, wasting resources. So we have to change that so that all of the world benefits. Not just one continent or one entity. And let's work together, get innovation done. As I said, anybody can innovate. Nobody is going to stop you. And you can do research in space or Earth, it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it's important to go to space because we want to explore what is out there and we want to know where we came from. Hubble, I launched in 1990, and 5 times we repaired it, gave us beautiful pictures of the whole universe, what we call as different galaxies, and the finger region we call it, where the stars were born and that became galaxies. Like Earth was part of one of our Milky Way galaxy. And so basically it tells us that we just don't know much about. People say, oh yeah, we know everything. No, we don't know anything. And AI is not the answer. There's much more bigger picture than AI, and what we know right now. So ride on the shoulders of the giants. What is my legacy? We landed a man on the moon in 69. My legacy would be like from 1980, 81, all the way to 2016. I would say my legacy is building the ISS and making humans live and work together, live and work in space in the low Earth orbit. Remember, 1 million years ago, we came all from Africa, the Horn of Africa, and we moved around the world. And humans were hunter-gatherers, and they came to some countries at 60,000 years, some 40,000, some 20,000. So I think India, they were coming at 40,000 years, and America more like 20,000 years. So they were hunter-gatherers, they moved around the world. And what we have seen, just the Earth, that's 60,000 years of just roaming around the Earth, Now suddenly in 60 years, we have seen beyond Earth. Voyager 1, Voyager 2 have gone 16 billion miles past Pluto, or past from Earth. So what I'm saying is, we have just barely scratched the surface, and we need to do more. And I'm not saying it's only space, but space requires many, many ideas, and that helps benefit the Earthlings, So any activity you do in space, NASA looks at what can we do to commercialize it on Earth so the other people can benefit. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
This was a pleasure. Thanks a lot for Mr. Thanks
Again,
a lot.
I want to thank my sponsors, Indian Community Franconia, and Ramesh Ramanujam and his wife Asha. They are close family, but for me, they are more like friends. I just love people, and thanks for inviting us to.
The thankfulness also comes from me. It's a great opportunity for this conversations. I was also telling this to Ajay. For me, it's personally, it's as if it's me meeting my idol who's actually achieved what I would ever think of doing it.
Yeah, I just want to leave leave a last note with to all the people who are going to be listening or saying that I gave a TED talk recently in Chennai, Hindustan University, and owners of Chennai University, they were very close friends of me, Ashok Varghese, and he said, give a talk which people will remember, and so I talked about NASA and what is NASA, what does acronym mean, and it stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the real one, but I use the same logic because we have millions of acronyms at NASA. So I said it, never assume something is not achievable.
Nice.
So with that, I want to tell people that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it better, because I was not the smartest kid, but I was determined to go somewhere, build a castle.
Self-esteem, risk-taking, no fear.
No fear. But I have 12 things, but 11 or 12 commandments. The other 4 things which we talked yesterday in the meeting was think, believe in yourself, dream and dare. So if you do the first 3, think, believe in yourself, dream and dare. Dream, you're not going anywhere. You have to dare. That's the last act, like Nike says, just do it, So good luck to all. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
God
Thanks
bless.
a lot.